Good morning, Bridget. Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you all today. And SOA Watch, and I'm trying to go a little slow to help the translation. SOA Watch is an organization that I greatly cherish, and I take this opportunity to thank you all, thank Father Roy and everyone involved with SOA Watch for really putting this organization together. 30 years is really beautiful and many more. And even though we hope that we'll see the end of the School of the Americas or WINSEC, however they call it, but it's still the same thing. But I still feel that this magnificent institution needs to continue beyond and to help the rebuilding of the communities that have been so devastated by graduates of the School of the Americas, by the spirit that is in the School of the Americas. This is an institution that needs to be finished. So in the interest of time, I salute everyone, all the panelists, fantastic, the participants, people in the audience, and I want to thank you for your solidarity with the people of Haiti. I will discuss this by going back to what I call the American century in Haiti, which started, I would say, around 1914, 1915, with the US invasion of Haiti in 1915 and the occupation, the 19-year occupation from 1915 to 1934. It was during that period when there was an uprising by the peasant armies, the Cacos, and they were demanding land distribution, a just society, that Haitian society needed to be reorganized. And on the verge of their victory, the US came in really in support of the oligarchy in Haiti and also to push its own agenda, which was an agenda of big plantation agriculture and to take over the resources of the country. The year before, well, a few months before, in preparation, 1914, the US Marines, a detachment of them, had all of a sudden, it appears in collusion with the Haitian government at the time, gone to the central bank of Haiti and seized the gold reserves of the Haitian bank and very quickly transported it to, I believe it was to New York City, to one of the banks there. And that gold has never been returned to Haiti. It was a huge amount. And so that a few months later, July 1915, was the US occupation, as I mentioned. But what I want to emphasize is through that time, the Haitian people resisted the Marine occupation of Haiti. And when they resisted it, it's been estimated that over 20,000 Haitian peasants were killed, were massacred by the US Marines, and also Haitians working with them in the service of the Haitian oligarchy. And so I bring this up because it connects with, from that time on, it's been the training of Haiti's military and later on what became the paramilitary forces started and has been uninterrupted since that time. And that period also ushered the era of a massive exodus, a massive flight from Haiti of men, women, and children whose communities were devastated by the war that the Marines, that the US Marines waged against the Haitian peasant population in the countryside. And so it was really, and many Haitians had to flee abroad to the Dominican Republic, over to Cuba, where the US occupation in Haiti was working in collusion with the plantation owners there, the sugarcane plantation owners, and exploiting the labor of those refugees. So you see the refugee crisis that we are seeing involving Haiti today has its roots to that period. And there have been successive waves of refugees, of massive flight of refugee population. So coming down to Papa Doc Duvalier, Dr. Francois Duvalier and his son, Jean-Claude Duvalier, known as Papa Doc and Baby Doc, respectively, in their 30-year dictatorship, uninterrupted, almost 30-year dictatorship, very similar to Somoza in Nicaragua. That was the model. Very similar to Batista or in the Dominican Republic, Trujillo in the Dominican Republic. Brutal dictatorship, paramilitary repression, because whenever you have this kind of attack and this destruction of people's livelihood, and you impose conditions of misery on people, and people are super exploited, chased, dispossessed of their land, there is going to be resistance. And so to deal with that resistance, we've had this massive militarization of Haitian society, combined with a reign of terror that was unparalleled. So during the Duvalier period from 1957 to 1986, it was just unparalleled repression. It's estimated that over 50,000 Haitians were massacred by Duvalier, father and son, in their war against the people of Haiti. And the infamous Tonton Marcouts, those were like a militia, an official militia of the Duvaliers that really destroyed, wrecked the country, wrecked the economy. Haitians fled in huge numbers. Again, the refugee crisis, bringing up the issue of Haitian refugees, since I'm talking about Haiti, but I can say it's similar to what went on in Central America and in many parts of the world. And so the people's movement organized itself, got rid of Baby Doc in 1986, and then there was a successive continuance of military dictators, all propped up by US foreign policy. Now, I mentioned before, there was training. It's through the Haitian military that this reign of terror, this super exploitation was able to continue through the decades from 1915 until present day. And it was successfully challenged when in 1990, Haiti has had its first free democratic election. And this was a people's victory. People had fought. People who were in 1987, people who had gone to vote were massacred in November while they were waiting to vote. The military and paramilitary forces massacred a lot of our people. And the reason I bring this up, it's because many people are totally unfamiliar with Haiti's history and with what's going on. I had a conversation with a dear friend, someone I admire, but he didn't have a sense of the continuing, how should I say, the continuing tight closeness, close relation of the Haitian military and present-day police with School of the Americas or other ways that the US military trains and that the Haitian military and paramilitary forces are, how should I say, it's like really intertwined in the training, in financing, and in the support that they get, and also in the war that they are carrying out against the people of Haiti. Fast forwarding, we had a coup d'etat against President Aristide in 1991. And after 3 years of brutal repression against the Aristide government, then President Aristide was able to return to Haiti. And in 2000, people voted massively again to put President Aristide in office. Why? Because for the first time in our history, we had a government that was devoted, that was prioritizing the people, the grassroots movement, the peasants, the women's movement, the workers by double the minimum wage, twice on 2 occasions, also built hospitals, built schools. There was an agenda of demilitarizing Haiti. And it's very important that I raise this issue, because the agenda of the people's movement, represented by President Jean-Bertrand Aristide and his government from Mila Valas, was to demilitarize Haiti. They disbanded the Haitian military, which was a creation of the US, totally, completely useless, more dangerous to Haitian society by fomenting coups d'etats and killing people in the service of a small minority, a little oligarchy, less than 1% of the population. So President Aristide got rid of them. And from the savings of that military budget, which was 40% of the national budget, that savings was invested in building schools, hospitals, sources of drinking water, land distribution to our peasants, supporting peasant farmer cooperatives. And this was the agenda that existed in 2004 when the Bush administration, Bush the son, did the second coup d'etat against President Aristide. And following that coup d'etat, the US imposed a United Nations occupation on Haiti, which drew from military forces from all the countries in South America, Central America, some countries in Africa, some countries in the Middle East, to their shame. And they came, to the exception of Cuba and Venezuela. And all these countries came to impose a military dictatorship once again on the people of Haiti. So from February 2004 to the present, Haiti is under a United Nations military occupation. Occupation period, not just military, but occupation period. They try to pretty it up, give it new name, just like they gave School of the Americas, they changed it to WINSEC, but it's the same thing that's going on today. In all aspects of Haitian life, when you look at the economy, has been systematically destroyed during those nearly 17 years of United States, United Nations occupation. Now, in terms of the military forces, since we are talking about the militarization, the Haitian military was again brought back through the OAS. The OAS is a very dangerous organization for the safety, for the well-being of the countries of the Americas. It is also a vehicle that the US uses in order to impose its foreign policy, its disastrous foreign policy on the countries of the Americas. And the OAS is used to stage elections, phone elections, along with the UN. And so a complete cleanup of these organizations is needed, or a change or replacement into organizations that will be there for the betterment of the poor. Now, what we are dealing with in Haiti, because I know time is of essence, is that there is a new configuration. Since the Tonton Macoutes no longer existed during the period of the UN occupation, and when I say that, not only did the UN bring in cholera to our people right after the terrible earthquake, but also there have been systematic massacres against the population. At least 4 of them come to mind, and there may be a lot more. But then later on, they have worked with paramilitary organizations. They call them gangs. And again, please take lessons from this, because whatever they do to Haiti, they practice it. Haitians call themselves the laboratory, because we see that they use us as a laboratory to practice some of these things before they impose them on other lands. And for example, for these elections, I was there during the last elections, completely, totally fraudulent. And when the Famille Lavalas party challenged these elections and had proof that they were fraudulent, the US, through the OAS, said no, that they would not allow the legal challenges to proceed, and they recognized the government of Jovenel Moïse to be the legitimate government of Haiti. This was a total fraud, and unfortunately, the world went along with it. In terms of the war on the poor, the Jovenel Moïse government has been creating paramilitary forces. They call them gangs in the media. Automatically, it's a cruel trick that they play on people worldwide, and on the people of Haiti too. When they call something a gang, people assume that these are criminal elements, which they are, and as if they are at war against the government. But these are government-created gangs. That's why the term more paramilitary death squads affiliated with the police is a better use of the term. One of the more notorious, who's been cited several times, is a man by the name of Jimmy Cherizier. His nickname is Barbecue. And he's a police officer. His name was being put out there as someone who was working very closely with those so-called gangs, with those death squads. And the police claimed that he was being, that he had been fired. However, he continues to work systematically, very closely with the police in attacking communities. There was a massacre of the community of La Saline, again with Jimmy Cherizier leading that massacre. It's been estimated that close to 200 people were killed horribly. People were mutilated. We are talking actions that that people from Central America, from El Salvador, know very well about, and so many other countries. And to this day, there hasn't been any actions taken. And there have been, in all of these paramilitary forces that have been organized and have carried out massacres against Cité Soleil, against a neighborhood called Tokyo, those are all neighborhoods in Port-au-Prince. Police officers trained by US and Canadian forces are part of this. Many of these police officers are also mercenaries, have come to Haiti, and this has been reported in the media. Sophisticated weaponry are in the hands of people who normally couldn't afford a loaf of bread, when you see them, but yet they have automatic weaponry in their hands with tons of bullets, and they exhibit them on social media. There has been a wave of killings against democracy activists, people like Father Simoli, Joseph Simoli, who is a priest who stood up and said enough. That was in December 2017. Well, about 15 days later, after he denounced the theft of the money, the funds from the Petro-Caribe program, which Venezuela had beautifully extended to help social programs in Haiti in a rebuilding effort after the earthquake. That money, $4.2 billion, was stolen. And as school children and everybody who's not getting their any kind of support, as they are demanding what has happened to it, those paramilitary death squads are being put out there in order to kill and massacre students. The head of the Bar Association has been killed. And so it's been in spectacular murders that have been taking place. So I will not go on with any more details because I've used a lot of my time. But you can see the picture of this hot war against the people of Haiti, where women are being gang raped. And we appeal to you, to everyone with School of the Americas in order to let people know what's going on. The website you can reach for more information, the Haiti Action Committee. We on Facebook, Haiti Action Committee Facebook, and also our website is HaitiSolidarity.net. Thank you.